Okay, loudepot back here with part 2 of the carbon monoxide class. Basically, this is your gas boiler looking on the inside. You can't see this, of course, because there's a jacket on it. But what it has is cast iron sections filled with water. And this is the water. Underneath, there's a flame from the gas. And that heats the cast iron, which heats your house. But the flame also has to go out, and they have it so there's some kind of a chimney on the top of the boiler where the fumes can go out through the roof. That when they say gas burns clean, and it does, when it's a perfect 1 to 10 mix with oxygen. The natural gas oxygen mix is 1 to 10, and it does burn clean. But if it's anything other than that, and it's not a perfect burn, you start to build carbon up on the sides of these airways where the air can go out. And the carbon builds up just the same exact way, whereas humans get older, their arteries start building up. And it starts to close. And when that gets heavy enough, this closes completely inside here. And now the fumes can't go out. And they spew out the sides of the boiler into the basement because they can't get out. Even if you have a perfect burn, and it's burning it at 1 to 10 mix, these fumes coming out are carbon dioxide, and then they fill the basement up with carbon dioxide. And like I said before, carbon dioxide and natural gas are trying to burn now instead of natural gas and oxygen. And when that happens, it creates carbon monoxide, the killer, the silent killer, which kills you. So even though you got a boiler that's been in your basement for 25, 30 years burning perfectly, this buildup is taking place, or can take place, if you don't maintain the boiler and have somebody wire brush it and clean it all the time. And eventually, and it'll happen at night when you're sleeping, that'll spew out the sides. And if you have a carbon monoxide detector, it's going to go off where you need to know to get right out of the house. If you don't have one, you can be killed by that. So it's important to know, even though you have no problems, everything's fine, it doesn't mean that that buildup is not taking place inside your boiler. So it's very important, even though it's a gas boiler, to have it maintained and cleaned every year. And more important, have a licensed plumbing outfit that has a combustion analyzer on their truck, where they insert it inside the chimney as the boiler is burning, and make sure that your carbon monoxide level is 50 parts per million or less. Now, you oil-fired burner people, you don't have to worry too much about that. That does create carbon monoxide. It's an 18-to-1 mix with the oxygen the way oil burns, but you'd have to have so much black smoke at that point before that actually took place. You'd either shut off the switch or run out of the house. So you're not really going to have that issue with oil that much, but the people with gas, it's silent, non-detectable, and that will kill you. Hot water heaters is the same thing, and you people in the wintertime where the boiler broke down and you want to heat your house or your kitchen with the natural gas stove or the propane stove because you need heat, those stoves are designed to burn at a 10-to-1 perfect blue flame also. The problem is, if you don't have one of those rain hoods over the stove where it's sucking the fumes out right away, and by the way, it sucks the heat out too and does nothing for you, that starts to create carbon dioxide and fills the kitchen up with carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide takes the place of the oxygen. So now the stove is trying to burn carbon dioxide and natural gas instead of oxygen and natural gas. And that carbon dioxide natural gas can't burn right. You start to get that orange flame, and that's producing carbon monoxide, which will kill you. Okay, so do not ever try to heat your kitchen or your house with a stove. It doesn't work. It's extremely deadly. Okay, so that's very important to know. Maintenance on the boiler every year is very important, even though it's gas. Gas burns clean, but only when it's a 10-to-1 burn. So the boilers have to be wire brushed and vacuumed out just as much as oil boilers do every year. So it will save your life. And another thing, carbon monoxide detectors. ones that talk to each other. So if your boiler's very far away and it's a large house and there's one in the basement going off, it may not be going off in your bedroom where you're sleeping. You may not hear it. You won't hear it. So it's good that they talk to each other. The Home Depot has them where they actually speak to each other. When one's going off far away, the one's going off where there's no carbon monoxide to wake you up. And by the way, when you hear that, you're not going to smell or taste anything. So if anything thinks there's something wrong with the carbon monoxide detector, first thing you do is get out of the house. Get everyone out of the house, call the fire department. They'll tell you if it's okay or not. Probably not going to be okay to go back in. Something's probably wrong. All right? I hope this helps.